One of my favorite things in the world to do is watch Friends. I know it's been off for years and years. It's not even around, but I still find myself binge watching old episodes. And I was thinking about this today and thinking, it's the predictability of the friends in the circle, right? You have Chandler with his quirkiness, Monica with her type A of just everything has to be so neat and tidy and organized. It's Phoebe's ability to make you laugh at her silly songs. Ross always comes in with those smart comments, and Joey and him and his food, like it is just so hilarious. And of course, Rachel, she just brings everybody together, and it's just such this beautiful, cohesive team of people. And it's why I wanted to come on and share with you today that I have an opportunity for you to find your friends in the content creation space. So if you are thinking about creating your first or your next digital course, I don't want you to miss this opportunity because Amy Porterfield just opened the doors for registration for her Course Confident Bootcamp. And I'm actually offering a special bonus for anyone that registers for the Course Confident Bootcamp through my special link. So I want you to go to krystalprofit.com/Amy-bootcamp to register. That's krystalprofit.com/Amy-bootcamp. And what you're going to find when you get there is I have this special bonus private podcast series. It's called Money Mindset for Creators. So I want you to go register for Amy's bootcamp, download the podcast, and immediately start listening to it, because what this training is set up to do is to help you get your mind right about monetizing your content, making money so that you can fuel your content creation dreams. So go to krystalprofit.com/Amy-bootcamp to register for Course Confident. And I cannot wait for you to find your friends and find the people that will be there for you. Do you see what I did there? Yeah, nice little friends segue connection. Go to krystalprofit.com/Amy-bootcamp. And I cannot wait to see you inside. Okay, let's get into today's episode. Hey everyone, and welcome to the Rookie Life Podcast. I'm your host, Krystal Profit, and I want to say thank you so much for joining us today for episode number 27. Y'all, it's here. It's a brand new year, 2019. Like, I was just telling my dad the other day, like, remember when it was 1999 and everyone was kind of freaking out and, hey, the tech world was going to crash and burn? Well, look at us now. Like, it's kind of crazy, right? To think about it. Anyway, it just makes me feel old, 20 years later, and I'm here today to talk to you about your word of the year. Have you decided on it yet? Have you ever done this before? Because I can't wait to share with you what my word of 2019 is. But if you're new here to the Rookie Life, welcome. Let me tell you about the other fun things we talk about here on the podcast. We focus on what it means to start something new, even when you have no idea where to begin, how to develop new skills in all areas of your life, and how to find that it factor that'll keep you motivated every single day. So join us as we dive headfirst into what it means to be a rookie. Come on, rookies, we all have to start somewhere. This episode is sponsored by Rookie Podcasting, the perfect course for a beginner podcaster. Whether you're starting from ground zero or you already have a live show, the information in this course is designed to help you in the first 5 months of your podcast. In this course, you'll learn the strategies I use to start my podcast, capture an audience of raving fans, and reach 1,000 downloads in under 5 months. But unfortunately, the doors aren't open anymore for 2018. What I've done is created a wait list. So if you're interested in podcasting or learning what it takes to start a podcast, Go to krystalprofit.com/rookiePodcasting where you can join the waitlist for 2019. I'm so excited for the course to open up again, but for now, I'm serving the customers that are already in there. But I don't want any of you that are interested in podcasting to miss out on the opportunity to know when the doors open again. So that's krystalprofit.com/rookiePodcasting. Hey rookies, and welcome back to episode 27. Before we jump into today's episode, I wanted to let you know a couple of things. The first is that I wanted to remind you that we always provide the show notes for each episode. So if you're interested in learning more about any of our guests, then visit krystalprofit.com/podcast. That's Krystal with a K, Profit with 2 F's and 2 T's to check out the show notes for this week's episode. You'll also find social media links for any of our guests, and you can continue to follow their journeys. The next thing I wanted to remind you is to be sure and subscribe to the show so you don't miss any future episodes. There are some really exciting things around the corner, and I cannot wait to share them with you. And while you're at it, please rate and review the show on iTunes. We just did another giveaway, y'all. And another one's coming up soon. So I don't want you to miss out on the opportunity to receive some really cool Rookie Life merchandise. Here's what you have to do to enter the drawing. We're going to keep choosing random reviewers to receive some really cool stuff. You can leave a star rating between 1 and 5 stars if you'd like, but here's what you have to do to be considered for the drawing. You have to leave a comment on what you think of the show. Here are some things that you can talk about in your comments. You can tell other people what you think of the show. You can tell me topics you want to hear us talk about. Or you can just give us a comment on which episode is your favorite. But you have to leave a comment to be considered for the drawing. I don't want you to miss out on any of these opportunities to receive some really cool stuff because who knows what the prize will be next time. Okay. Now we've gotten all the business side of things out of the way. Let's talk about picking your word of 2019. Okay, so maybe you have no idea what I'm talking about whenever I'm saying, hey, what is your word of 2019? Or what is your word of the year? So let me just back up for a second and start with what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is a practice that I heard. I honestly cannot remember, but I know that I've been doing this for a few years now, and I want to say it was a blogger that I follow. Her name is Ruth Sukup, and she's someone that I'm like 90% sure that I picked up this practice from her because I've been following her for several years now, and I know that I have her planner. She has a planner. It's called the Living Well Planner. And I know that this is something that she encourages you to do whenever you first start your planner. So that's probably where I first heard this practice. But like I said, I'm only 90% sure. Anyway, the idea of it is to pick a word that you're going to focus on. So it's your mantra, let's call it that, of the year. You want to be this one specific noun, verb, adjective, whatever the word may be. And although I've only been doing it for a few years, I kind of wrote down some of the words that I feel have been directly reflective of my life over the last few years. So let me give you some examples of past words that in retrospect, like looking back, I would say, yeah, that was my word for that year. So I would say productive is a word that I would use for probably about 3 years ago. Just being really productive, like getting things done and making sure that it happened and, you know, just kind of getting the ball rolling. I would say I was very productive. And now I've had people tell me, like, how do you get stuff done? Like, you're so productive. And I'm like, well, it's kind of been a work in progress. It definitely didn't just happen overnight. I was very intentional for an entire year with being productive, you know, with waking up early and, you know, just getting things done around the house, making sure meals were cooked and laundry was done and yada, you know, just all the things that happen in your day-to-day life. And so now these things are habits because I've been doing them for a long time, but I was very intentional 1 year with being super productive. Another word I would say is organized. This was another year. I remember, and I've talked about, there was a whole episode on decluttering in the Take Care of Your Home series. And that year, I mean, I was just totally, like, I was ready to throw everything away. Like, if it was not nailed down, like, give it away, throw it in the trash, or, move it somewhere else. Like, I was bound and determined to be organized in my personal life, in my professional life. Like, I just wanted to be organized. And again, it goes back to, these things are habits now, because I was super intentional. Probably not for an entire year, but for at least a few months, I was like, I'm going to be organized. I'm going to be organized. Organized is my word. Again, I don't know that I had already started this practice of picking a word of the year, but productive and organized are the top two I can think of. And if I was to look further back, I think probably about 7 or 8 years ago, health would have been my word of the year. And I don't mean that as like, oh, like I'm going to lose a bunch of weight, but like healthy, like just being healthy overall. Like when I first started working out and putting good food into my body, and just watching what I ate, not necessarily going on a quote unquote diet necessarily, but just really responding to or seeing how my body responded to certain foods. There was times when I was like, oh, I'm going to be a vegetarian. That didn't work out very well. I asked my husband, I was like, can I be a vegan and still have like a filet every now and then? Like, I'm a terrible vegan. I'm a terrible vegetarian. I've tried it all. It doesn't work for me. I will never be successful with paleo because I love bread and pasta. And so I just try to eat as many fruits and vegetables as I can. It's like that 80-20 rule. That is my lifestyle. But anyway, I digress. Like, health was my word one year. And then in 2017, I think this is when I got really intentional with this practice, and I chose quantity. And that word really meant like I was trying to launch my book, and I was just trying to do all these things. So I was trying to shove a lot. Like it was one of the first times I got asked to speak. And I ended up speaking for this organization that I was a part of. I got to speak 2 or 3 times that year, and it was really awesome. And then we had book signings. So there was a lot going on. We moved, like it was just, there was a lot jam-packed into 2017. So in 2018, whenever I was going into the year thinking, okay, what is my word this year? And it was quality. And I think that is a good word. I mean, first of all, you always hear quantity and quality. A lot of times they either go together or they break away from each other. But quality was a great word because it helped me really focus on what I was doing. And if I wasn't putting quality work up, I didn't want to put it up at all. And if I look back at 2017, some of the quantity, I was just doing so much. I was doing all kinds of blogging and posting and putting all this stuff up, but it wasn't necessarily quality work. And I didn't want to do that in this year, like 2018. I didn't want to do that. Like, and that's actually why, I've haven't posted as many blog posts as I used to, because it wasn't quality stuff. And I felt like if it's not quality, then why put it up there? So I'm absolutely happy that quality was my word of 2018, because it really helped me focus on what do I like to do? Like, why am I doing this anyway? And it helped me build some quality relationships this year. I mean, we moved again, and, I've already established a lot of really great friendships here. We've gotten settled into a church, and I've met, a ton of ladies that really breathe life into me and help me be a better person, be a better mom, just really focus on me, like giving life to myself so I can be that to other people.
Being a woman in business comes with its own unique set of challenges, but also so many opportunities. We get ahead by leaning in to what makes us different from business as usual. I'm Samantha Hartley, host of Profitable Joyful Consulting, inviting you to a special 6-episode series exploring the experience of being a woman in business. You want to hear from women consultants who've hit $1 million, who sell 6-figure engagements, or who've broken their own revenue ceilings? Yeah, those are my clients, and they'll be sharing too. Join me for 6 must-listen episodes that tackle key challenges for women consultants.
Follow Profitable Joyful Consulting on your favorite podcast app.
So that was my word of 2018. So now you understand the practice. At least I hope you do. If you don't understand, send me a message. We can chat about it some more, and I can help you figure out your word of 2019. But basically, it is a noun, a verb, an adjective, something that is just going to give you life in the new year. What word do you want to focus on? Is it your health? Is it your fitness? Is it your home? Is it your family? Is it your spiritual, your journey? I think journey is a great word. Adventure is an amazing word. And just focus, intentional. I could go on and on. I love words, and I'm such a super nerd. I could get out my thesaurus in my dictionary and just go off on you. I mean, come on. And then the poet in me comes out oh gosh, you don't even want to get me started with that. Artist, art and creative. Oh, I love the word creative. Maybe that'll be creative's kind of a dangerous zone for me though, because once it's that Pandora's box opens, you can't really shove it back in. So I kind of have to tame the creative side of me. That's when the quantity gets out of hand and the quality just kind of goes to crap. So that is not my word of 2019, but that's a great segue into what my word is. And I'm super excited about it. And I actually thought about this when I was at the gym, and my word is light. And I was talking to my mom. So I talk to my mom literally every day on the phone, which is kind of a problem. We shouldn't talk on the phone as much as we do, but she's one of my best friends in this entire world. So we talk on the phone almost every day. And I'm not talking about a 5-minute conversation. It's usually okay, mom's calling. Do I have an hour? Because we just have a great relationship. And I'm so grateful that we can have these conversations. We bounce ideas off of each other. She's getting into the online world and she's starting her business. And it's just really fun to bounce ideas and just talk about all the things that, just all the things that are out in the world. We could talk forever. But anyway, my word is light. And I was explaining this to her, and I was thinking about it in the sense of light on my feet, because I have been running. I started running again this year, and I feel really good. I feel like I can go race the kids down the street and feel good about it. And I feel like I can run around with them at the park, and I can be on the swing set and swinging. I just feel this light airiness about my body, and I feel just really good. And then we started talking about it more, and I started thinking, man, but the word light can mean so many things. It can mean a beacon of hope. It can mean a light in the world, I know that goes kind of back to the beacon, but I think of just the word light. I think of a spiritual light. When you think of, if you've ever done yoga, there's a lot, to do with the energy around you and light. And it's such a great word. I love it. And this is my word. And I want to find the light within myself. So it's a beacon of light for other people, but it's also a light within myself. So I'm hoping to be a beacon of light for female entrepreneurs, because that is my jam. And this is something I realized in 2018. I love talking to other women who are trying to start their business, whether it's online, whether it's, selling the makeup and skincare products that they love, or whatever the case may be. I love discussing business with other women who are passionate about it. It's one thing to just talk to someone who's in business and oh yeah, this is what I'm doing. It doesn't make me happy, but it pays the bills. No. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about someone who is on fire for what they do. Women who are just like, they are just scrappy and they are trying to figure it out. You know, like, what can I do to make this better? How can I be better? What can I do to level me up? Like, I want to grow. I want to be the next Oprah, you know, like people that dream super, super big and they just want to be better and do better. Like, those are the people that I want to talk to. Those are the women that I want to follow on social media, and the women that I want to see, like, you know, that, what's that saying? You know, you don't get pulled up from, you know, when you're trying to level up, what is it on the corporate ladder? You don't get pulled up from someone at the top reaching down. It's the people pushing you, shoving you up. Like, that's how you scale up, is you join a community of people who are just ready to, they're just hungry. They're hungry for something better and something that is just amazing in their life. But I love the word light for 2019 because there are just so many meanings behind it, and I could totally geek out on you and like talk forever about light and what it means to me, but I want to go back to helping you choose your word of 2019. Like, what is your heart telling you this year? I mean, you left 2018, and I'm sure there were things that went amazing this year. And I'm sure there are some things that were probably not so great and stuff that you never want to talk about again. And that's fine. But let's go back to you picking your word of 2019. Like, what sets your heart on fire? What just lights you up and makes you just passionate? Like, oh man, I would love to do this every single day. Or I cannot wait to look more into this. Or I want to go buy a book about that. Or I want to learn how to do X. Or I want to make sure and see why. Like, what are the things that you wake up in the morning and you cannot wait to work on it? Like, this can happen for you too. Like, I know there's a lot of people that are like, oh, you know, you have to wake up at 5 a.m. and work on your business. And it's almost like this pity thing, like they feel sorry for me. No, guys, like, I'm excited to wake up at 5 a.m. and work on all the things that I work on. And a lot of people don't understand that. And I think it's because they haven't found their thing that gets them excited, like that just gets them going, and they love doing it. What I do is not work to me at all. It's not work. Talking on the podcast, getting on social media and interacting with people, like, it's not work to me. Like, this gives me life. Knowing that talking about all these things, like, you can help one person. I'm not trying to talk to 7 million people or even, 10,000 people. I'm trying to help one person that needs that motivation to keep going and to not give up on themselves. Because I truly believe that people, every single one of you, you have a gift, you have a message, and you have something so special inside of you that is exactly who God created you to be. And I hope that you find it and share it with the world. And that's really what all of this is about. Like, what is the word that is on your heart for 2019 that God's given to you? And, I try not to get all religious and try to, talk about anything that'll offend anybody. However, this is something I truly believe. This is something I'm very passionate about because it changes lives. Like, it's changed my life. It's given me a new light. There's that word again. It's given me a hope in something that's so much bigger than me or you or any of us. Like, it's the reason why I started writing. We're almost at 5 years ago. I started writing almost 5 years ago. And I'm not talking about writing books. I'm talking about writing to-do lists in a journal that no one else saw and praying over it and saying, God, I can't handle this. Like, this is too much stuff. I can't take care of all these things and all these kids and all this stuff with the house. Like, it's just too much. I can't handle this anymore. And I started giving it over to God and saying, this is where I need your help. Please help me. And you know what? He showed up for me and continues to show up for me every day. And this is why I keep doing these things, because I keep following what my heart is telling me, because I know that's not just my heart. I know that there's a reason why I've chosen to be healthy and organized and productive and have more energy and put out quality stuff and work on quantity of things. Like, there's a reason that my word of 2019 is light. There's a reason. I don't know what that is, but I know that by this time next year, I'll be able to tell you, because I truly believe that there's going to be something amazing happen this next year for me. And I believe that the same thing can happen for you too. You just have to believe it yourself. So I hope that this has given you a little bit of a direction for you to start exploring words for 2019 for your own life or for your business, your personal life, whatever. I hope that this has given you the motivation. And if you have any questions, y'all, please feel free. Shoot me an email, Krystal@krystalprofit.com. Send me a message and say, hey, I need some more help with this. What exactly are you talking about? Send me a message on Facebook. I don't care. Just reach out to someone if you need guidance on this, because y'all, if you've been following me, there are no stupid questions, because if there were, I would have quit a long time ago, because I've screwed up a lot and I've made a lot of mistakes, but I continue to ask questions and I continue to get answers because I ask these questions and I keep moving forward. You know the motto around here, keep it up, rookies. We all have to start somewhere. And that is legit, something I tell myself over and over and over and over again, because I need to hear it. I need to hear it probably 1,000 times more than you do, because I don't know what I'm doing half the time. I'll just be honest. I don't, but I figure it out and I go back to my word. I go back to, why am I doing this? Oh, it's for the light. Whether it's trying to be light on my feet or trying to be the beacon of hope for someone else. Light is my word of 2019, and I'm going to stick to it. Hell, I might even paint a canvas, put the word light on it, or maybe draw a light bulb and put it right above the office. I don't know, to put it right above my desk and say, okay, this is my word, 2019 light. This is why I'm doing this, light. Just as a reminder, because I need those reminders all the time, every day. But y'all, that does it for episode 27. Remember to go check out the show notes, subscribe to the show, and leave a review. Stay tuned for next week's show, and remember, keep it up, rookies. We all have to start somewhere.
Hey, Profit Podcast listeners. Thanks for sticking around to a little bit after the episode to hear this special message, because I want to hear from you. We are starting a new segment called Fan Mail Shoutouts, and I want to hear from you, and I want to hear your questions. What do you want to know? What questions have you been dying to ask me? So here's how to make this happen. Go to the app where you're listening to this podcast right now. Go there. I'll wait a second. Okay. Now, once you're there, you're going to see a hyperlink at the top of the episode description that says, send Krystal a text message. And that's all I want you to do. Send me a text. It could be casual, informal. It could be totally anonymous. Or if you want, you can include your name and the name of your podcast or content wherever you are creating, and I will give you a special shout out in an upcoming episode. So again, go to the show notes for where you're listening to this episode right now, and it will say, send Krystal a text message. And I cannot wait to hear from you and give you a shout out in an upcoming segment of Fan Mail Shoutouts.